What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I believe the last video you guys saw was me trying to sort out the speedometer with the KRX, and also we threw the wheels on the car. It's just so fire, bro. Like, ooh, I'm really starting to love the KRX a lot more, like a lot more than my red car. I ended off the last video not really having a solution for the speedometer to the cluster, but after tinkering with it for the last couple of days, because it's been a few days now since I recorded anything, because I've just been dealing with the speedometer issue. But we got to sort it out. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Let me get inside the car. Let me show you. I really can't show you guys anything in the car anyways, because everything is all tucked and put away. But let me talk real quick about what my solution was as far as getting the speed signal to my EK cluster. I'm going to plow through this really quickly because I got to take out to alignment like right now. When I did the EK cluster conversion, I did all the pinouts exactly how the write-up was, and then at the very bottom of the write-out, there's a little like small print that says where to wire your VSS, you know, power signal and ground, right? And the pinout was for the OBD0 plug or OBD1, and my mind was like, well, the car is K-swap, and they go look up the K-swap pinout. So what I did was I went to go look at the K-swap pinout, and the pinout for the K-swap plug A18 is the signal in. I didn't pay attention to in, so I tied the VSS signal to the A18, which is signal in from the speedometer sensor. And because we're running a Z3 transmission, it's the high frequency connection, if that's the right word here, connection. And I was robbing it from the A18 input to the ECU. So the cluster was reading the high frequent, and that's why the gauge cluster was running all but crazy. So after back and forth with CJS wiring, back and forth with Nomis, back and forth with my tuner Jeremy, thank you guys all so much, especially Jeremy, because it only took him like 10 minutes to figure it out, or figure out what I did wrong. So with the K Pro V4, you don't have to get the speed converter. It's built in if the ECU was installed from Honda themselves. They enable a VSS signal output, which is the B11 plug. Now the B11 plug is hooked up like VTEC Academy told me to do, and the problem was when I did the EK write-up using all the pinouts in the diagram, the VSS yellow red stripe had an X mark on it that said that wire was not being used. That wire is the VSS signal that goes all the way back to the ECU to B11 on the K-series harness. Now my VSS wire from the cluster was robbing off the A18. So Jeremy watched the VTEC Academy and he was like, wait, the B11 is the output. Where is your output wire to the cluster? I said A18. He goes, you got it in the wrong spot. So I pulled that A18, stuck it on B11, and voila, cluster starts reading speedometer. So now that we got the speedometer finally working on the cluster, you guys will see in just a moment, because I am going to be driving to the alignment shop. I will have my laptop, I will have my GPS to tell me the speed difference between the laptop and my phone, so we can calculate the percentage for correction, so that way we can get the cluster to read very close to what the K Pro is reading from the CSS sensor on the transmission. Hopefully that's not too confusing to you guys. I am going to warm up the car. I got to take off right now. My alignment appointment is in 30 minutes and the drive is about 15. This dash mat came out of the giveaway car, and it's for the 88 to 89 dash. You can see it's short right there. I'm probably gonna have to order a new one. I definitely do want a black dash mat. Very, very low idle because no idle air control valve. All right, let's go to the alignment shop. Doesn't feel like I'm doing 70 miles an hour. I feel like I'm doing maybe 65, which is what that's saying right there. So I'm gonna have to do the speed correction in a little bit, but the car's here at Nilo's shop, and I just realized my tail light is freaking out, and I gotta address that for sure. So you guys want to know something about this gash right here, this gouge? I was jacking up the car and La Ponda was parked right behind it, and when I jacked the car up, it scraped the 10 mil on the license plate. Not happy about that, but you know what? Now I have more of a reason to paint this car, right? So the front suspension I swapped out to the max pinion rod traction bar, and what I did was I redid the caster on this because this one only has Heim joint on one side, so it's hard to adjust. So I did the caster on here, and I'm here at Nilo's shop to pretty much get the front suspension aligned, although it showed that the back was also off. So he just got all that into spec, and this thing should be driving cherry after it's all said and done, which he just finished. So right now Nicky just hit me up and he's down the street. I'm probably gonna swing by his house, see what he's up to, and really just avoid traffic because traffic is crazy right now. Yeah, so Nilo just got the car all finished up. I'm gonna get on out of here in just a moment. See, the car is not too loud right here. Oh, yeah, it's pretty loud. God damn. It's always nice to catch up with Nilo, and he said the car looks awesome. He loves the way the car looks, and I had to pop the hood for him to show him what's good underneath there. So right now I'm gonna head over to Higgins, and Fred is actually on his way over there as well too, which is right down the street. Yeah, Fred, I need some of these tees for my car though. Yeah, look, this is when you know you don't drive your car enough. You got spider webs on your car. Because my car is the same way. I ain't fronting. My car has a lot of spider webs on it though, so I know the feeling. I'm jealous. Fred's car is pretty damn quiet. I believe it's a 2.25 or 2.5 with a stock LS motor. But then again, I'm 3-inch and I'm K series. I'm not mad about it. I just don't want to get pulled over. I didn't show you guys the alignment specs, but I normally have this car set up for like the track, but because I don't have the specification on me, I told Nilo just to get it all in the green the best as he could. So the back had I guess the adjustment somehow went off, even though I didn't touch anything in the rear, although I did lower the car a little bit. But we got all the back end all in the green, not too much camber in the rear, which is good because the tire doesn't really poke, opposed to the 225 I had on here before. The front caster, the rods are really hard to adjust. You have to take them off, twist the joint, and then, you know, adjust it accordingly. So I did that at home, and whatever it's set to, it's whatever it's set to. So I told Neil just to worry about the toe, which he got nice and straight. Steering wheel's nice and straight, kind of, and the car drives freaking awesome. So again, we're chilling here at Nicky's house right now, and we're just gonna, shoot the shit real quick. And I don't really have anything, I really don't have anything planned today. This fool doesn't drive his car either. You see all that spider web? I guess we all have one thing in common, yeah? We don't drive our car easy enough. This is when you know you're extra famous right here. I think I gave it to him. Look at this. Dang. Got his damn car on the skateboard, boy. Dang. Super Street. Sheesh. We're out here, obviously, at Higgins. It's not going to go in all the way, obviously. It's a paper clip going into a terminal. So Nicky's been battling I guess everybody determined that the VTEC is not engaging, and he's done everything as far as like cleaning the screen, swapping the solenoid, and right now I guess what we're doing is we're testing the wire. So what he's doing is he's wiring his probe light to B15, I want to say, for the VTEC solenoid wire, green yellow, and he has a test light on it. The other side's going to be grounded, so when he drives the car, it enables VTEC wherever his RPM activation is at. That probe light should turn on. If it doesn't turn on, that VTEC wiring is not getting power. So this car built, what did it make?
250, 190 torque.
250, 190 torque, no VTEC. So the setup is actually built to make more, right? Yeah. It's just not. So this is one way to really test it out, that or a multimeter, either or. But right now he's pinning it all in. Sun's already going down. Kind of want to show you guys Fred's car. I don't think I've shown Fred's car too much. He did come by the house the other day, but I wasn't really doing anything then. But Fred got some new shoes for his CRX, and it is fire, bro. T37s, you guys already know, it's one of my favorite wheels. A lot of people's favorite wheels, actually. So much favorite to everybody that is actually played out, even though it's really not played out, but everybody named Mama has it, right? So he got these brand new T37 15x8 plus 35 on Yokohama Advan AO52s. These are 205 5015 if you guys are curious. And wow, dude, looks amazing. He said that the car does kind of rub the tire a little bit. It does have a little poke, but he is running the KONIG ground control, and I guess it does bounce a little bit that it touches the fender well. But if he stiffened up the spring rate, I don't think he would have that issue. You can see the line mark right there, right? But his ride height is perfect. I don't think the poke is too crazy. Just got to stiffen it up so it doesn't bounce too much. But Fred, man, one of the baddest CRX out there, most definitely. And then you got my hoopty. Drives nice and straight, but needs a tune. So we'll go tinker with his car a little bit more and see what's good. Okay, so simple enough, probe light in A15, and I already probed this to the power source with the ground right here, and the light does come on. So if VTEC is working, this should flash. So what Nikki's gonna do is he's gonna go and I guess drive his car right now and see if it works. I don't know if I can stick the GoPro in here. I most definitely don't fit in the seat, so we'll figure something out. I guess this guy wanted me to go ride with him, right? So I'm over here struggling with his freaking bucket seat. I guess the first time for everything. But I tell you what, this is pretty cool. I don't think that's gonna work. I think that's it. That's all we need right here, man. I'm not gonna go anywhere. Yeah, and I'm not worried about it, man. We'll just pretend it's click, okay? Click, you guys heard it. You said skunk, what cams are in here? Tuner 3. Skunk Tuner 3 cams? VTEC, so we know the output is giving out voltage. We don't know how much voltage, but we know the VTEC wire is getting power. I mean, I've been in and out of cage car. I just never been in a cage car that had double bars, you know. And on top of that is the bucket seat, because you have this right here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry about that. How's it going? Thank you. Oh, damn. Well, I guess first race car experience, but I mean, I've sat in other race cars before, but I'm talking about Nikki Higgins' race car. You know what I'm saying? So we know the VTEC output has power, because you guys saw the light nice and bright. We didn't even put the voltmeter on it because we don't need to check how much voltage. We know it's getting power, but I think the last clip I recorded trying to engage VTEC with the light coming on, but you don't hear it. For the cams that he have, you would think that you'd hear it, right? But we don't. The car does not make the power the engine is built for. So I guess kind of back to the drawing board, but we know the output has power. I was trying to figure out the math on the speed that VTEC Academy did in his video. He literally just said, you take this, you divide it by this, you get a decimal, and you take the inverse of that, the percentage, and you enter it in the speedometer correction and see if it puts the speed from the GPS to the cluster to the K-Pro closer, tighter in the numbers. But he didn't explain in the video how to get the percentage. Like, how do I get a percentage of a decimal? I don't know. So I called Nomis, big shout out. He said simply how they did it, how they do it is you just input 1% at a time to see if it gets closer as far as the cluster reading to the K-Pro. That's all I want. I want the cluster reading to the K-Pro to the GPS. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm about to go for a drive. I'm gonna drive back home since we are done here for the day. Drive back home and just keep changing the input plus or minus to get the cluster and all this to synchronize. So hopefully it's not too confusing, but let's get to it. Doing about 65 on the cluster, and we're doing 65 on the GPS. But over here, we're at about 62, plus or minus, not too bad. 65, 66, pretty close. So guys, I just got home and I was entering the speedometer correction percentage as I was driving. Hopefully you guys saw that in the previous clips, but I went up positive in number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it kept going way far apart as far as speed sensor here and on the GPS and on the cluster. So then I started getting into the negative. I went to -5, -7, and then I ended up at -10 right there. And it's still about 3 miles off on the K-Pro, but the cluster to the GPS here, I'm using the TRC speedometer GPS thing, and this and the cluster is, I would probably say, just barely 1 mile off, but it's pretty dead on from there to here, and about 2 to 3 on here. Under. So that means if I'm doing 80, I'm doing, you know, under 80, I'm doing 70 something. So that's good. I think that's all I wanted, is to match the GPS, which it does. So I'm not really doing anything else tonight. Really, it was just getting the car to the alignment shop, and then Nikki invited me over, and Fred came over. Nikki's brother was there as well too, and we also met the neighbor Manny, and we were just kind of hanging out the rest of our evening. Right? Sunset. So I wasn't even going to record today. I was just trying to just get that done, and you know, that was that. The car drives freaking awesome. It drives freaking straight. Thank you, Nilo, always taking care of my alignment needs. And this thing, other than it being super loud, it's so enjoyable to drive. My goodness, I miss that oomph. La Ponda, you're cool and everything, but this is what I miss driving right here, most definitely. K24 A2 TSX engine in the KRX, ready to rumble. I talked to my tuner today. He's going to try to schedule me a dyno tune sometime this week, hopefully before the weekend. If not on the weekend, not a big deal, less traffic anyways. There's really not much more left with the KRX. It's just the tune, and this thing is ready to rock and roll. Well, actually, I ordered a muffler last night. It should be coming in tomorrow. I'm hoping it comes in early, so that way I can just do the exhaust while the car is still on the driveway, and then we can roll it out, dyno tune it, and it's ready for the road, like ready for the road, because you know, the boys going up the mountain on Thursday, and I kind of want to go, but I don't want to go up there untuned. After we situate the exhaust, I do want to bring LaPonda on board and start doing all the suspension stuff. I have all of the brake stuff for the front, for the rear. I have all the bushings and everything to do the rear, the trailing arms, the LCAs. I still haven't ordered the stuff for the front yet, but at least want to get started, because you guys know progress is better than no progress, right? Rather not wait for everything to be here all at once. Instead, just knock out the back half, and then we'll knock off the front half. So LaPonda is going to be coming up on the driveway really soon, and I'm actually kind of sad about it, because once LaPonda suspension is fully redone, it's going up for sale. Like 100% going up for sale. So I am going to wrap up the video right here. Not much more I'm going to do tonight, but I hope you guys enjoy the ride along in the KRX, as well as the ride along in Nicky Higgins' hatch, as well as checking out Fred's new wheel on his CRX. And if you guys enjoyed it, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for some work on LaPonda and the soon dyno tune for this car, be sure to hit the subscribe button. So with that being said, hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.